Well, thank you. My grandmother told me, people don't have to like you and say nice stuff about you, so when they do, you should really be appreciative of it.
You know what?
And
That's
so
so
I always am. I learned a lot of stuff from my grandmother and my mother.
well. My problem is I speak the truth, and a lot of times people don't like to hear that. I don't mind saying if I like you, I like you. If I don't, I say I don't like you. But that's how it is, and that's just being honest. I think if the world would be more honest, we wouldn't have all these problems. I mean, look at the fact that John Conyers had a congressional hearing here in Houston with Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee on the criminal legal system here in Houston. I mean, we have major, major issues, which you have uncovered already through the crime lab. And
Yeah, we do, and I mean, we just need. I'm hoping that after Barack, people will see that we do have a voice if we make people listen to us. Is what I'm hoping. So if we do that, then we can affect change. Because if you vote people out of office, they can't keep screwing you. That's for sure.
that's
So I'm really hoping that we will start something. This won't be an anomaly. I'm hoping that it will motivate us to participate all the time, because there are so many of us, and we united can do anything we want. We just don't have faith that anyone's going to listen, so we got to make them listen. It's just what we have to do.
Well, the internet radio and the XM radio and all these radios, we're able to tune in across the world. I mean, you're looking at an audience of approximately, if it reaches everyone and it's automatically archived forever and ever, unless you decide for it not to be, that's 52 million people, if you do the statistics. So a lot of people, even if they didn't hear the show tonight, they can go on the internet and always, I'm going to feature this show. So they're definitely going to be able to listen to the show later. And they can even download. What we do is we have podcasts where the show is sent out via iTunes podcast. You can download anytime, and it's under news.
Well, that's, as I said before, I will be listening more often now.
And I was fortunate. I had City Council member Wanda Adams also on. I think it was last week, and she was discussing her project in reference to Hurricane Ike with the debris. And so
yeah, she's the chair of the debris removal committee. We actually, my office was actually doing Ike. We were able to get a generator brought in, a new state-of-the-art generator brought in, and fire up Shape Center because they were without electricity. And Shape Center provides tremendous resources to a historically black community in Third Ward. So Shape Center was able to operate even though there was no electricity, to still have a place for kids to have food and things like that. We were able to do that. My office was at-large position 5, and we were also able to convince, I don't know how I did this, but I do know God provides a way, every which way, if you think long and hard enough and pray hard enough. But we're able to get some companies to buy in and buy 18-wheelers full of ice and water. And if you were here back after the hurricane, which if you're from here, then I'm sure you know, ice and water were a commodity. I mean, people didn't have them, and people needed their medications, refrigerated and those type things, and there was no electricity. So we were able to do that separate and apart from the city. We were able to bring in our own ice and distribute them, and we made sure that we got it to seniors. Because I just believe if you don't protect seniors and children, then you're worthless. That's my... So, I mean, that's what we did, and we took it because we had this pod system set up, points of distribution, where you had to get to this place to get these needed resources, and some people didn't have money or cars, and so we actually identified people who need, and we took it to them. So I'm very proud of my office. We worked 12 and 15-hour shifts, and we did blue-collar work, picking up 30-pound bags of ice and crates, and I mean, we were out working. Our windows and stuff were broken, but we weren't worried about ourselves. We were worried about helping people who were less able to help themselves than we were. And so
my whole out there with you.
Right. So my whole office deserves a Ike Hero Award, truthfully.
And
because I'm very proud.
I was with Mayor, Sunnyside's Mayor Sandra Massey Hines, and she set up a pod location at her house. And Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee was donating. You were out there working as busy bees.
Well, I got you guys ice. Sandra told me where she needed ice, and I got it to her.
You got it for her.
I got it to her, the ice that you had. Yes, she got, because my office got to her. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes, you got it.
She calls me. Now, she calls me. Believe me when I tell you that. I need this. Right, oh, yes, ma'am. Well, I need to send it.
In fact, I went with her to a couple of houses, and walking on the elderly while they're eating rotten meat because they didn't have transportation. They were in the house for I don't know how many days, but I know it's over 12 days without lights in Houston. And I'm on the west side of Houston, but still, I didn't care. I drove over there. It's not like that's why God gave you a vehicle to drive. I mean, regardless of the gas prices, I mean, this is family. This is people, human beings. And so I covered the story, and I'm continuing to cover the story. And
I want to, while I'm on here, to praise my chief of staff, Pat McFarland. We got a call at my office. Actually, we got calls to my office, but I got my door beat on at 10:15 p.m. last Friday. Tomorrow will be a week. There was a riot at a hotel here in Houston at the Hilton Southwest. The people that had taken a job for this debris removal of 1,500 people, only 135 were paid. At least that's the information that I got, and someone got knocked out. I got up, I called Pat. I said, Pat, we got to get to the Hilton on 59. Pat didn't hesitate. She had her nieces with her. She figured out where to take them at 10:15 on a Friday night. And we got to that place, and we helped people get paid. I mean, these people that work for 2 weeks, 12-hour days. And these are people who had not been able to work because of Ike. And so the money was especially crucial. So I don't think Pat signed up to be called at 10:15 p.m. and to get to a place, but we were there. So that's what my office is about. If there's a need, we try to meet it.
Wow. I mean, in fact, I spoke with Patricia in your office today.
That's Patricia. Yeah, you call her Patricia. I call her Pat.
Okay. And I would tell you, the staff in your office, they're all wonderful. They were so concerned. They followed up, and they made certain that you were on the call, that you had the contact information, and that they were checking in.
We are a highly effective office, and I will tell you the motto of my office, and I think we're the only office with a motto, is the people are the city, because we can never lose sight of that. The people are why we are here. The second thing is we work while they sleep. I like that one. It means what it means, and no excuses. So
I saw that on your site.
Yes, ma'am, and it's on my card. Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I was looking at that, reading it. You said no excuses. In fact, you even have it on the business card that you gave me. You have no excuses.
I know.
That's right. That's right.
Yes, ma'am. The buck stops with me. I mean, my mother taught me that we're not perfect and we can all learn, and my grandmother taught me she hopes that she learns her entire life, and the last thing she hopes she learns is how to die with dignity. So, if I don't do something right, I'll own up to it, and I'll learn from it, and I'll correct the behavior or the mistake, and I'll move forward. That's just how I am. I'm not like people that don't admit if they don't do something right, and I think that's how you grow as a person. But I also think it's how you are a really grounded public servant. So, and don't get it twisted for a second. I call in my staff and we shoot ideas around, so it's sort of a group think. Because I think we all have different perspectives, and if we put our brains together, we can figure something out.
In fact,
and if somebody is getting ready to run off and do something crazy, even though it's good and well-intentioned, somebody will say, well, no, I don't think you should do that, or we shouldn't do that. So we work pretty well together in this office.